Tributes are paid to former boxing world champion Ricky Hatton, who's died at the age of 46. The former world boxing champion Ricky Hatton has been found dead at his home in Greater Manchester. He was 46. Police say they're not treating his death as suspicious. Ricky Hatton won world titles at light welterweight and welterweight and fought some of sport's biggest names, but it was his down-to-earth personality that saw him become one of Britain's most popular boxers, with his career culminating in a number of iconic fights in Las Vegas. Boxer Amir Khan has been paying tribute to his fellow boxer Ricky Hatton with my colleague Martin Croxall. He reflected on their friendship and the legacy Hatton leaves behind.
So I've known Ricky a very long time, obviously looking up, watching his amazing, massive fights he used to have in Manchester Arena back in the days, and obviously then travelling all around the world and fighting the biggest names in boxing, from the Mayweathers to Manny Pacquiao's and everything. So he was a massive inspiration to me in my career. And not only that, he came to my wedding. He also came to me when I won my first world title. He was at the fight, giving me all the great advice I needed at the time. And it's just so sad because he was a very dear friend of ours. He's been to my house, I've been to his, and we used to always share messages together. And now recently, you just mentioned, he was going to go back in the ring again and do an exhibition fight against a friend of mine called Isa Alda in Dubai, that was. And I was going to be ringside there as well. And it's just sad because this just coming Monday, he was supposed to be in Dubai for a press conference where I was going to see him. But tragic news. I mean, for the world of boxing, not only for Britain, he was a massive name, and he's going to be definitely missed. I mean, what style he had, pressure fighter, also brought the whole of Manchester to boxing. I mean, it's a big loss for us.
Just give us an insight into what sort of advice he gave you. This will fascinate people who follow boxing closely.
Yeah, you know, the advice he gave me, I remember when I was going to America and having my first fight over there, and he said to me, just stay calm, stay focused. There's going to be a lot of media. There's going to be a lot of trash talking. And I thought a guy called Paulie Malignaggi, and he was telling me Paulie is from New York, and the New Yorkers have a lot of, they're very vocal. And so just don't let him get to you. Don't let him get under your skin. Just stay focused and stay calm. And that's what I did. Just like when Mayweather and him were at the press conference and Mayweather was going at him, he stayed nice and calm and gave Mayweather one of his hardest fights. But look, these little advices that he gave me took me a long way. I even went to training camp a couple of times to watch him train and see how hard he used to train as a fighter. And what motivated me was how hard he trained. And that only just pushed me more in my career as well. And obviously there was talks about me and him fighting one day, but we were just too close of friends that would not have happened.
No, I can't imagine that you would want to do that at all.
No, he was a dear friend of mine, and obviously now his son Campbell, he's a great fighter. He's also he's in the professional game now, and you know, I'd like to speak to him if he needs any advice, like his father gave me advice. I'd love to be there for him and give him that bit of advice as well.
Yeah, that'd be wonderful for you to pay back in that way, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I was just looking at what you were writing on social media earlier when you were saying that as fighters we tell ourselves we're strong, we train, we sweat, we take hits, we get up. But sometimes the hardest fight happens in silence, in the mind. Mental health isn't weakness, it's part of being human, and we must talk about it, we must reach out, we must lean on each other. So you were obviously aware of the struggles that he had and probably talked to him about them at times?
You know, to be honest with you, whenever we met, Ricky was a very strong-minded person. He never ever showed that he was in any stress or he had any sort of depression. He was very calm, and that's why it hit me. I wish he had told someone. I mean, that's the thing about this, the mental illness and stuff like that, where people do get really upset, especially after a long boxing career. He didn't know who to trust. He had big fallouts with a lot of people, and you know, I wish he had just reached out to his close friends and maybe they could have had a chat. And you know, sometimes speaking to one another helps a lot. And I just would have loved to have been there with him to give him some advice back, because he was always a nice guy, always a people's champion, always making time for people.
Amir Khan there speaking with Martin Croxall about the boxer Ricky Hatton, who's died at the age of 46.